everyone, and welcome back to FECO Friday.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! We love this podcast series. This has been one of our favorites. We've got Jim and Justin joining us today, and our original guest for today, Dave Doppler, is not feeling well, so we wish him happy healing, and we will have him on in a future session.
Do
Jim, I'm
some
gonna
do
let
some fec do some feco, Dave.
yep.
Yeah.
Jim and Justin, I'm gonna let you take it away while I go do some sharing and get this podcast out there.
Sounds
Awesome.
great.
Thanks, Jamie. All right, welcome everyone, and we're excited to be here. I got Justin. Justin's our patient-reported outcome specialist. We're working on growing the largest database of patient-reported outcomes in the on cancer in the world. So, if you're a cancer patient, join us. FECOplaybook.org. We'll get you exactly where you need to go. A lot of good, exciting things going on with us, right, Justin? What's going on with you?
Yeah, right now, in preparation for Ryan, we're working with an amazing research team who's integrating the scientific and patient-reported outcome evidence to provide a comprehensive overview of how cannabis can help with cancer. So right now, I have a long list of public cases that weren't structured into the database yet, but I'm going through and getting them all into the database. So it's just, being turned from the straight text form into all the different categories, symptoms, conventional treatments, integrative treatment, supplements, diet, what kind of cannabis products are used, what the dosing was, what the results were. So this is the format that the researchers will be able to use to be able to help make the playbook grow bigger and better and be data powered. So we've been doing that for a while now, and it's just continuing to grow, and I'm really excited about it because these are particularly good cases. Lots of 5-star ones with medical documentation or published in actual medical journals. There's actually over 15 cases at least of cannabis fighting cancer in humans actually published in medical journals. So in addition to like the anecdotal ones in news reports and Facebook groups, which are still very valuable, there's actually a pretty good amount that are formally published. So the
And
evidence
hopefully
is
we grow
really
that.
overwhelming.
Hopefully we grow that number. And our goal is to also to let everybody know that's listening is that we collect all stories. So your story is important to us. You didn't have to use cannabis. It's one of our main things that we promote. It helps in normal daily homeostasis. Put your body into a stronger mode, but of course, any kind of story or patient-reported outcome you can share with us is really important. We need both sides of the fence. A lot more of them out there that don't have the cannabis history tied to it. So those are going to be easier to come by. But yeah, jump on board and share what you did if you're interested in knowing what it could have done for you, or a maintenance, which highly we recommend that. One thing cannabis helps do is maintain after the cancer goes into remission. And what we're doing is our remission is a little bit different than other people's remission. We shoot for complete elimination of all cancer cells. And is that possible? We're still working on it, but our goal is to not just finish chemotherapy and ring the bell. I mean, that is basically just a promotional thing for the hospital to say, yeah, we did our chemotherapy. Now you got the real fight. You got to deal with all the symptoms from the chemotherapy, which are brutal. It's another thing that we recommend FECO for. Yeah, the thing that like I said, ringing the bell, I got to call it a feck off deal, man. Honestly, come on, guys, do better than that. Really, yay, we rang the bell. But are you cured? Did they cure the root cause of it? And that's what we're all about. We're really trying to find out what that is. Our end goal is prevention. We'd love to not have it anywhere, but in the meantime, if you're going to work on cures that aren't going to kill you. For one thing, most of the time it's not cancer that kills you. It's the treatments that kill you, the Western medicine, the chemos, the surgeries, the radiation, but Beck Off Friday is all about finding things that we see as worthy to tell people to feck off on, honestly. So if you're in an audience and you can think of anything, share it with us. I've got a bunch of them. I like to really dig on the medical industry because healthcare, you can't have healthcare without THC. How the hell can that be illegal? especially that's legal in 41 states medically, and they're still not representing or really uh,
You're starting to cut out a little there.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna talk today about a dispensary program. We've been working on it pretty hard. The key to it is to have cancer patients be able to go into a dispensary anywhere that it's legal. If you have a medical card, like I said, there's 31 states in the US that you can go and get your medicine. And what we provide you with is the directions how to do that. It starts out as a basically, where are you? What type of cancer do you have? Where are you in your treatment? And kind of like what your expectations are. And at that point, we recommend most of the responses from our patient reported outcomes, when Justin can respond to this, is that they mostly come up, use FECO, change your diet, do some healthy things, do some exercise and things like that. So it's stuff that everybody can do. So like I said, most of the things lead to FECO. This is what the dispensary program is all about, is helping you get good FECO. You can go into a dispensary and ask them for FECO. You can explain to them that it's full extract cannabis oil. They still won't know what you're talking about until you might say Rick Simpson oil. All of a sudden, now they go, oh yeah, we have Rick Simpson oil. So that's a whole other thing. I'd love to talk about that today too. Our dispensary program is going to be starting this week. I'm actually in Colorado to do that. Got my dog with me. I think if you follow our page, I brought Kira, brought her to Colorado with me, and we're going to be up here visiting dispensaries all next week. If you have any recommendations in Colorado, I should go. I think I'm going to definitely be dealing with Starbuds and Exit 243, a couple of other groups that we've already got commitments from. And what we're going to be doing is setting up some postcards, because when you walk into that dispensary and you're a cancer patient and you ask the bud tender what you should do with cancer, they legally cannot tell you, but they can point to a postcard that has our QR code that will get you to our website, fecoplaybook.org, that will give you the information that you need to be able to get you that medicine right then and there. We've got a deal called FECO Standards. We basically collected all the lab reports from all the different FECOs that we've ever had access to and anybody else has had access to. We put them all together and come up with a range of different cannabinoid profiles and in general recommendations. Like I said, a bad FECO is better than no FECO. A good FECO is better than a bad FECO. A great FECO is better than a good FECO. You know, and we're trying to help people how to get the good and the great FECO. Those are what we want to do. They're made a little bit differently. They're made with different types of flour. We highly recommend a couple of things, like number one, I'll name a couple things, and Justin, you name a couple things. My number one thing is multi-strain. From my mentor, Jack Kungle, Jack says, I'd rather have more darts when I throw and I'm trying to hit something. So that's what multi-strain does, is gives you a full profile entourage effect from multiple different angles. So highly recommend multi-strain, and also indica, which is thick leaf, short plant, gunky smelling, more sedative, more of an evening type of a medicine, much better for FECO consumption, especially at nighttime, because you don't want to be up all night dealing with the buzz, because the oil is not a game. It's a medicine, and it does it does affect you. It gets you high. You just have to learn to deal with it through a dosage. And Justin, why don't we talk about dosage a little bit?
Yeah, so dosage is a huge thing, because if you really do need, especially with FECO, to be starting with very low doses and slowly increasing. So even if you have the perfect FECO product that's indica, very sedative, if you take a large dose, then it's going to be more likely to stimulate negative side effects like anxiety, paranoia, sometimes, nausea and even vomiting. Now the thing is between the sativa and indica is that if it's sativa, you're seemingly more likely to get anxiety from lower doses, and it's more difficult to work up to those high doses because, of course, if you're trying to fight cancer, the human and scientific evidence suggests you need to be getting to those high doses. So if you're using a sativa, you're just making it harder for yourself to get to those high doses. But whether you have sativa or indica, you start with low doses, you slowly increase, and with an indica multi-strain oil, you're more likely to be able to increase at at least somewhat faster rate than a sativa or oil, and with more comfort.
There you go. Heard it from the horse's mouth, because where Justin gets his information is from these patient-reported outcomes. We have certain data points that we collect. One of them is, what did you use? What type of FECO? Where did you get it? Do you have a lab report? Ultimately, 5 years from now, every patient-reported outcome that we collect will have a lab report with it. Hopefully, it'll have a lab report and a diagnosis. But our goal is to have you walk into that dispensary with an idea of what to ask for. So when you walk out of there, you're going to have something that you can get started on. Will it be perfect? Probably not perfect, but it'll probably be a good start. And really, that's the key to this. This is a feck-off moment. You go to the doctor. They tell you you have cancer. And then they tell you there's nothing else that they can do for you right now. They'll see you back in the office in 6 weeks, because the doctor's going on vacation, and then when he gets back, he's got a full boat. So you get 6 weeks to wait around, and you have cancer diagnosis, you're scared, you're really confused. What the hell are you going to do? Because if there's ever a feck-off moment, come on, guys. Doctors got to be more attuned to your personal needs, because it's so extremely difficult to get that diagnosis and then just get pushed off to another space of basically unknown, because nobody's really gone through this, and especially a parent like I had to go through with my son. It's brutal on a parent, and don't wish it upon anybody. And it's a really hard thing to do by yourself. So what we've done with our program, which our parent program is called Whole Health Oncology. We're excited to be able to launch that to the public in the next couple of weeks, probably within the next month. What that does incorporates all the things that we do at FECO Playbook. It also incorporates all the patient-reported outcomes that we collect, but it also includes what Justin talked about earlier, is the research that we're collecting on all these different cancer points, considering using cannabis, and all the positive outputs that we're getting, and all the positive responses that we're getting on that. So pretty exciting stuff, man.
We're pretty excited about whole health oncology stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's really taking things to the next level. Figuring out what interventions are most effective against different cancers, and changing the paradigm of oncology, because chemo, radiation, surgery are nowhere close to the end-all be-all of treatment. And there's no doubt that through combinations of natural interventions, that that's going to be the future of cancer treatment. I deeply, deeply believe that.
So I want to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I want to interrupt real quick. We've got a few people jumping in the comment section.
Nice.
Hey guys, Sarah, I see you. Kevin, Tina, hi. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. The comments are starting to come in. So
is that a HIGH to everybody?
Yep.
I'm sure it is with our community.
That's how we roll on Feck Off Friday. Hey, so I was saying too that part of of being confident and understanding and being knowledgeable, when you walk into the dispensary, you'll have such a better experience, and you're not by yourself. Part of whole health oncology, one of the number one things is patient autonomy. You immediately have a team of people behind you. If you're interested in using something that you've never used before, wouldn't you like to know what 100 other people did that use that product? with the same kind of diagnosis that you had, and you could find that out like right away without going through any ads, any kind of promotional crap, nobody trying to sell you anything. And then when you go into the dispensary, you can be more educated than they are about what you need. They cannot help you. If they help you, it's illegal. They can't do that. So if they're helping you, they're basically telling you what they smoked last night, which is cool. I mean, I'm 100% believer when you walk into the dispensary, I want to know what they smoked last night and if they like it, and I'll take that recommendation. So that's kind of how FECO Playbook works. We get a patient reported outcome, and it's crowdsourcing. You could call it a lot of different things, but it is crowdsourcing. And we pull the highs and the lows out. We don't keep the wild crap in there, and we don't keep the really under appreciated stuff. But we do keep it in the database, though. It just doesn't get presented to you, so you don't have to deal with it. You can sit back and focus on what you're having to deal with at the moment, which is a cancer diagnosis. The doctor just told you, you're scared, you're confused, and now you have 6 weeks to do nothing. And the number one thing that you have to do is change your diet. But no, you're going to wait 6 weeks. Heck off, man. Think about that. Yeah. Think about being dumped on, hey, you have cancer. Okay. 6 weeks later, they go, did you ever change your diet? You know what the thing about it is? Heck off. They'll never ask you that. They don't care if you change your diet or not. Because if you don't change your diet, their medicine, which is chemo or radiation, won't work as good, because the cancer will never completely 100% go away. So I hate to get so worked up, but man, this FECO Friday gets me pumped up and starts making me think all the stupid shit that people are doing. And like our medical advisor, Marzov, says that in 100 years, they're going to look back at oncology as one of the biggest jokes in the freaking world of how it's managed and organized and just dysfunctional. It's making some people rich and killing other people, and that's okay somehow, so pretty crazy stuff.
Jim, we went ahead and got our FECO Playbook information page up. That I was just diagnosed with cancer. I'm scared and I'm confused, and our plays that making patient autonomy made simpler.
It's a big thing. You could ask our number 001 patient, Dave Evans, about how the community, which we didn't even at that point realize that's what we had, but that's what we do have, is a community helping you and giving you tools and resources that you can literally start on like day 1 or day -100. Start now being healthy. Cut out sugar. If you're going to do one thing in your life, cut out added sugar. You can eat an orange, eat an apple, all day long. Cut out added sugar. If you got to read the label, it probably has added sugar in it. It's scary itself. I mean, some people put added sugar in freaking coleslaw. It tastes better. Hell yeah, it tastes better. You want more of it. It's freaking cocaine. So, like I said, that's one thing. But the hospital, one reason we can say most hospitals and doctors to feck off is because they never tell you to get off added sugar ever, ever, ever. So that's what we deal with. So patient autonomy is a huge thing about it. If you have any questions, let us know. We're really, we have some specialists in it that are helping us build our resource page. And within the next couple months, that should be live. And we're looking for, like I said, more patient-reported outcomes, man. This is a call out to anybody that you know. Everybody knows somebody that has cancer. That sucks. We got to change that. Let's get to the point where we can actually have a cancer-free or a cancer-less environment. We know we can do it. And the ultimate goal, my three dreams, this whole thing, since Eric got cancer for the first time when he was 8 years old, which was in 2002. And so what happened is that three things. I want patient autonomy. I want prevention, because that's what we don't do. They still don't do that, and I want to treat the root cause, because it's all about taking care of it in a way that it doesn't come back. Because if it does come back, we all know it's worse. So if you got it really bad, you beat it with using chemo, congratulations. but look out, take care of yourself. Don't go crazy. Don't go out there and start, drinking like you used to drink, because whatever you were doing before was causing it. And your body's not stupid. It's perfect, but it's still susceptible to disease. And like I said, our whole goal at Whole Health Oncology is to understand what that is, and then prevent it. How do we do that? That's our program. That's how we're going to use these stories in our research.
Yeah.
What's convenient is that it seems like a lot of the ways to treat cancer naturally are also how you can prevent it if you get ahead of it. Like studies show that cannabinoids kill cancer cells, and there's some other studies showing that cannabis users have lower rates of several cancers, which of course is prevention. So basically, getting ahead of it, taking the right supplements, eating the right diet, using small amounts of cannabinoids. Basically, it seems like the evidence is leaning towards that you can prevent cancer by doing less extreme versions of what people do to treat cancer. But basically the same interventions. It's just, you can have a little bit more flexibility if you don't have cancer, but you're still using similar interventions.
And
keeping
good
your
call, Justin.
endocannabinoid system at homeostasis is the key.
Yeah, keeping it full of keep the tank full. It's your immune system.
Yeah.
It's your immune system. You can wait for the doctor to give you a pill, or you can get ahead of it. The flu's going around right now. It's
Yes, it
all
is.
about health. Nobody says, what they're saying, get the vaccine, do this, there's a vaccine for it. Fuck that, man. There's a healthy way to try to prevent it also. And if you do get it, you'll be stronger in the long run. But so back to the dispensary program. Walking into the dispensary, the first thing you're going to ask for is I think full extract cannabis oil, because that comes up number one, right? I mean, if anybody says they go
specifically
refusing
THC FECO, or the
okay,
THC rich, because there's also CBD rich
Sure.
FECOs, which many people have used successfully, but THC FECO is more common in our patient-reported outcomes than either CBD FECO or like blended THC CBD FECOs.
And I've seen FECO, and we probably should identify it as more hemp FECO, because it does have CBD FECO makes people believe that it only has CBD in it, and that's what we want to educate people on, is how that entourage effect works. And there's different and Justin, you probably got research from how isolate compared to a full extract and the difference of it. And I've heard cancer stories of THC not budging cancer cells, and entourage effect, add all the cannabinoids in with the THC, and then you get an amazing amount of response with that. So that's what you do when you walk into the dispensary. Ask for full extract cannabis oil. Let's start with that. And honestly, Rick Simpson oil is probably the next stage you'd want to go to, because that's what most people call it now. And Rick Simpson oil is basically a brand name. It's like calling every car a Ford. I drive a Ford. You drive a Ford? Oh no, I drive a Chevy. Well, what the hell did you do? Call it a Ford for? That's what Rick Simpson oil is. It's a brand. It's like calling everything an auto a Ford. You don't want to do that, man. You want to call your specific brands. And what FECO is it's car. We're the automobile brand, basically. We're the brand that's been called for thousands of years. And it's like people calling everything a search engines, calling them a Google search, right? They did a great job of doing that. That's what Rick Simpson, the Confederate Rick Simpson, have done. They haven't done anything bad. They get a bad rap for the way they make the medicine, but that was just the way Rick made it. I mean, people make Rick Simpson oil, but they do it all different types of ways. Butane, propane, the alcohol extraction, isopropyl. We still
the original
see that.
naphtha, the very original one.
The original naphtha, man, that's pretty.
That's how he made
nasty
it
thing,
originally.
honestly.
That was the very first solvent used for Rick Simpson oil.
But it wasn't even called Rick Simpson oil back then, right? He just made it.
No,
for
he didn't
himself
call it. He
because
called
had
it hemp oil. He specifically called it hemp oil, which is a problematic name for all kinds of reasons. But that was what he called it, was hemp oil.
Right. It's probably because it was
It
most
got so
acceptable.
confusing once actual hemp oils came on the scene, which of course are like CBD rich. And then people were saying hemp oil for a THC rich FECO. Like it was crazy in like 2012 to 2013, the whole naming thing. It still is today, but especially then, like I remember that pretty well. The name wars,
Yeah, well,
as we
that's good.
called them.
Yeah. People are gonna run into that. Like I said, that's the best thing about what the playbook does is helps you identify kind of those obstacles that you may run into,
So,
and
so
we
what the
we
really
create a play. Go,
And
Justin.
what the card shows and what's really most important is the lab test results. So like regardless of what the name is or even technically what the strains are, you want ideally to see a lab test result that shows exactly what cannabinoids are present, what terpenes are present, and at its basic, you want to see more cannabinoids and more terpenes at higher levels. Like that's the most basic thing. So unfortunately, not all dispensaries have extensive lab testing, but that's the ideal. You want to get the best FECO you can, and you want to see lab results if you can. And if you
But
can't,
they
that's just
have
the
to legally
reality of
have
where
to
you
have.
are.
Don't they legally have to have lab results?
Well, they might be, yeah, most dispensaries will have at least the cannabinoid levels and the safety information. So the safety is the microbiological contaminants, residual alcohol, pesticides, and often heavy metals. Terpenes is the one where it varies state by state on whether it's going to show that. So, ideally you want to see everything. If you're just seeing a good cannabinoid profile and that it's a safe medicine that doesn't have those contaminants, if that's the best you can get, that's certainly good. But if you can find lab results that have terpene results, even better, of course.
Yep.
And as we get more results, we're going to be able to tell you which terpenes are working better for which cancers, honestly,
Oh yeah,
which is
that's the
awesome.
gold
I mean,
level.
that's where we're getting. I mean, that's the ultimate goal with our program is to refine the medicine. But my first 2 years of this were kind of reverted when Jack said, "Man, forget all that. What strain? Just get some FECO inside them, and it's way better than multi-strain FECO, and you'll cover that strain then."
Yep.
But really, what you're talking about, it's not strain, it's terpenes. Which terpenes? How high? And Justin, what are the five most common? I mean, you got THC and CBD, but what do you think the next five after that are most important for cancer patients to have in their medicine?
So
So
what's most commonly found in FECOs, like the most concentrated cannabinoids after THC and CBD, tend to be CBG, CBC, and CBN. And both CBG and CBC, there's some good scientific data, especially way more on CBG is the third most
I
well-researched
love
cannabinoid for fighting
CBG.
cancer. Unquestionably, like THC, CBD, CBG is like the hierarchy that the research suggests. There's some on CBC, less on CBN, but those are also shown to fight cancer. And those tend to be pretty well concentrated as secondary cannabinoids in THC and CBD dominant FECOs. And there's scientific evidence showing they fight cancer.
Yeah. For those of you guys listening who have never like looked up CBG, I highly recommend you do. There are several studies on CBG, to include MRSA. MRSA is a very hard to
Uh-huh.
fight infection, and there's been more than one study that CBG can completely wipe away MRSA. So you know, MRSA is one of those
cool.
infections that you worry about whenever you've spent a lot of time in the hospital. So for those cancer patients that are listening that picked up an infection, it's something to seriously consider looking into.
Absolutely. I really think there's a huge amount of potential for CBG. And just real quick, there was because most of the studies on cannabis and cancer are, at least preclinically, are treating it, but there was one that where they were like injecting a chemical that would trigger the development of colon cancer, and CBG was actually preventing the development of it. So it was acting as preventative in addition to directly treating. So
Having
we're
that as something that you look for in your FECO would be a really good idea if you can find, your FECO that has CBG.
yeah.
Yeah, even a little bit, even a
Just
little
a
bit.
little
Like I
bit.
said, it's the entourage effect. Yeah,
Yep.
it doesn't take a lot to make it happen. And I'm a big believer in multi-strain with like a hemp. One of the strains being hemp because hemp has such a higher CBD, CBG, and CBN percentage than THC based FECO does. or the flower. Justin, have you seen that as pretty common? I mean, I know hemp is super rich in cannabinoids, and even seems like it is even more than the high THC cannabis is, especially the way people do extractions these days.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, so the hemp has come a very, very long way. Like originally in like probably 2010 to 2014 or more, it was, hemp CBD derived from hemp wasn't the best. Like it was mainly CBD with not too high levels of cannabinoids and terpenes, but they've really come a long, long way with breeding and crossbreeding like well, all hemp is a cannabis plant that has 0.3% THC or less. So yeah, they're getting these other cannabinoids and CBD up to and terpenes up to very high levels and keeping the THC within that legal threshold. So yeah, getting hemp in, you're just getting a very different variety of cannabinoids and terpenes than in THC strains. So yeah, including that in either is part of the multi-strain mix or taking a CBD X FECO as another product separately from the THC. Either way, the patient-reported outcome and scientific evidence is suggesting that results can be improved by adding CBD one way or the other.
Awesome. That's good stuff there. And like I said, most of this data is coming from patient-reported outcomes and going to be continually getting better and better. I mean, Justin's getting to the point where he's starting to ask these questions to people. Also, another project we're working on, Justin, it just reminds me that we need to, spend a couple hours a week minimum on, identifying brands of FECO that are out there. And what do we think about them? Give some feedback on them. It's like, hey, and try to find the lab reports for them. Make it easy for people. Make it to where if they can look when they come to the dispensary and they see a QR code for FECO Playbook, they can scan it and it'll go to our website, and our website will tell them what FECOs we recommend based off of cannabinoid profiles. And it makes it a lot easy for them to do that. Then they can actually show the bud tenders kind of what they're looking for. Hey, here's a picture of a
I love
manufacturer that. So we should absolutely have that. That's
Yeah.
easy to do. We can just totally get that up in the next, month or so. So
Yeah, I would love to. I'm definitely down to keep looking into other FECOs, and we can have like a recommendation or like an example of good brands. So whether whether someone is in a state where they can access that specific brand, if they can see what a good one looks like, and then we can start maybe posting some of the lab results in addition to the recommendations. Yeah, people will be very, very well equipped when going into the dispensaries, and even as things stand now with the card that explains what to look for. It's pretty good, but the name of the game is always getting better, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So the dispensary program. Anybody in the audience have any suggestions on like what would it if you are or were a patient or you knew one or you're a caregiver? Okay, let's put it hypothetical. Your kid, God, hopefully never happens, or your father or mother or aunt or uncle or somebody else has cancer. You tell them, hey, you know what? I've heard of this program that's called FECO Playbook, and they're a database of cancer journeys from all these different people, and then they clean it up for you and suggest to you what the end result was. So basically, like a survey says, this is what 99% of the people did. And what would you recommend, or what would it make it? Maybe they want you to go to the dispensary for them. What would make it easier for you to do that? Does anybody have, and if nobody has a question, Jamie, what would make it easier for you? You work and you have worked with a lot of people and,
Yeah.
continue to do that.
I think hmm, this is where I had suggested maybe we have like a bud tender training course, even a slight one. Um, but
Well,
I
maybe
mean,
like a 30-minute, a 30-minute, like 30-minute a month or 1 hour a month podcast specifically for bud tenders. That's a great idea.
oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Education.
Education. I think especially in Oklahoma, I think there's a lack of education and more of misinformation that's spread around. Um, so we're gonna recommend a um at least 60 to 80% THC FECO, and mostly indica strains. In Oklahoma, you're going to find FECO that's sativa, single strain, and there needs to be, although there is a place for that product, it's not the most ideal product to battle cancer with. So I don't want to bash any products that are on the market because there are people doing amazing things. You just have to know what the products are and what their purposes are, and what you can
Everything
use.
has a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are making FECO. They're still making it for recreational use. Now, you know what? It's great for that. You want to get high? Good on you, man. It's very healthy for you. Honestly, it's going to end up putting your body in homeostasis. So I use it for sleep. And I was going to mention earlier is that if you know somebody that is dealing with cancer, part of the best thing with FECO is dealing with the side effects.
Yeah.
1000%. I mean, it doesn't even, nobody can argue with that. There's not one person in the world that can literally even get close to that. Is that, if I start breaking up, let me know. I want to let everybody know, like, my shirt here is exactly what we're all about. It's healthcare. Jamie said she's sporting the healthcare shirt. We've got these shirts. If you want one, let us know. We need to go ahead and get a little store up for on Whole Health Oncology site. We'll make sure that we have a store up because people love this kind of stuff, and people are going to be passionate about what we're doing. We're going to be, we're going to be making people's lives better like never seen before. I mean, we have people that really, honestly give a shit about what we're doing. We give a shit about other people's lives and want to make it better. And we're not all about trying to find a way to sell you something and get money out of your pocket. It's more important to get you healthy and have a better quality of life. So, like I said, the first thing we tell you is change your diet. Immediately quitting fast food. So that could be number one, because when you go to the fast food, it might not be the burger that's bad. It might not be the fries. It's probably the freaking Coke, but it's the combination of all that crap at the same time over and over again. Go in for a treat and have a Big Mac once a month or once every 3 months.
I'm gonna throw out there that your condiments matter. There's a lot of sugar in condiments.
Yeah.
There's ketchup, especially.
There
mustard
is.
usually doesn't seem to have sugar added, thankfully.
Yeah.
And yeah, mustard's really
ketchup
good
is
for you.
absolutely about half.
Yes.
I love mustard. Yeah, mustard is one of my favorite, and horseradish, mustard, things like that. And Jamie, let's focus on getting things like that on the cookbook on the FECOplaybook.org. We have an amazing cookbook, and all the recipes are all from cancer patients. So it's amazing. We don't even ever do anything that's one thing that we should. One of these podcasts coming up is going to be all about that, because food is medicine. Medicine is food.
That's when we got to bring Pamela back on.
Believe that we live. We'll be back on. We should have Pam and Jack on, and who else? And Jennifer. Have Jennifer jump on. She's a big advocate for quality foods and understanding what's going on. Plus, Jennifer's doing some frequency stuff. Working with Jamie right now on some cancer patients in Oklahoma, and it's always been my brain has always thought that FECO and frequency are the key, and now we've added food into that, the 3 F's. And
I'm gonna go and say
FECOff.
Yeah.
FECOff's our 4th F.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, if you are on the Operation Zero program and you are listening to this, we are going to be reaching out to you shortly about working with Jennifer Hawkins and getting some scans and some frequency done. There's an opportunity on the table that arose this week. So, Jim, you're cutting out.
Help you with some diet.
Yes, and some diet help for sure.
Jennifer, she'd be great on. Yep, big time. She can help identify what is making your body feel bad, and what we all do. What we're doing is we treat the root cause. So when you treat the root cause, you don't go, well, you have a headache? Oh, we'll just take this aspirin. All that does is numbs the pain receptor. That's all it does. It doesn't get rid of the headache. It numbs it out, man. And the problem, whatever pinched or whatever is causing it's still there, eating away, getting bigger because you're feeding it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's that we have a big the
We're
root
losing
cause
you, Jim.
and bring us a. Oh shit! Hold on.
Some of that got through, but
It
maybe
might
Some
be
of it,
time.
it was like bits
It
and
might be
pieces.
time.
sound.
But I was
Yeah.
saying we should get treat the root cause podcast coming up. Like call it that, and then bring in a group of people. Really tough group of people that really move the needle on that. So present, we need to like right. It's a big one. It's there.
Yep.
So hear me
Unfortunately,
okay?
we're only getting bits and pieces of you, but we're about out of time anyways. So
Been a good one.
it
Yeah,
has been a good
this, this felt really good. Like, and I feel like we got a lot of good information to people, and we're available to be reached out to with any questions, and if you have any suggestions for the dispensary program, as we brought up, anything that you think we can do better, please let us know. And we're always evolving, so we welcome communication and advice.
And if you or anybody you know has cancer, please send them to fecoplaybook.org and benefit from the resources and tools that we have available. We've poured our hearts and souls into this, and we believe that gathering those patient-reported outcomes and combining them with research and simplifying for you helps with your patient autonomy. And that's what we provide at FECO Playbook. Jim, you got any
Here's
final
my
words?
van.
That's what
Nice.
Kira was in.
Yeah, that's what Kira was in yesterday, right there. Yeah, we're gonna be cruising around Colorado. That's what I'm gonna be showing up at the dispensary in. So be looking out for me. Pretty excited about that. It's all-wheel drive. We'll be jumping around all over. We're gonna be going to legal states. That's where it's all gonna start. And also medical states. And we got 41 states to work on right now. FECO goes everywhere. For one thing, we're a data company. We can go all over the world. So if you know somebody in another part of the country, another part of the world, let them know about us. FECOplaybook.org. It works great. You can make your own medicine at home. I know people that do. Big believer in it. You'll get good at it. It's not easy. Then I think Dave will talk about that when he gets on. Hopefully Dave feels better. Dave, I want to give you a shout out, buddy. I hope you feel a whole lot better. I was really looking forward to today, but sorry it didn't work out. I know you're sick as a dog, and look forward to seeing you here hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But Dave could talk all about that. He knows lab reports and he knows FECO, and yeah. So let's bring. I think Jesse might be coming on in the next couple of weeks. FECO for dogs is for real. If you have a dog that has cancer, or you just want to make them healthier now, like I said, the bottom line, whole health oncology screams prevention. That's what it's all about. We're not screwing around here. This is all about this isn't the cure. We're not like breast cancer awareness and give us money for cures. No, man, we're looking at making your body stronger and allowing it to fight the fight against all kinds of disease and most importantly, cancer. We know that what we doing, it works because we have hundreds and working on 1,000 stories that are proving it, right? So
Absolutely.
Cool. That's my closing comment. Look forward to next Friday. Can't wait.
Yep. We'll see everybody next Friday.
Anybody got any FECA? Anybody got any FEC off closing moments? We need something good to close on for a FEC off. What's your most?
I didn't think
what
I'd
pisses
still
off
be
you the
here
most about
today.
this?
I didn't think I'd still be here today because my doctor wanted me to try chemo for endometriosis, and I chose FECO, so FEC off.
Yeah, that's the future.
Nice.
There will come a time in the world where chemotherapy is no longer needed. Like between cannabis, other herbs, other modalities, like this is a temporary blip in humanity's history. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
That's awesome. And my closing would be if you break your arm, go to the hospital. If you have cancer, call Whole Health Oncology and FECO Playbook. Yep. That's what I recommend. So. Yep. Right on. Have a great day. Right. Good weekend. We'll see you guys next
weekend.
Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.